Greetings, cow folks. This is Sir I Shat on you with more Red Dead tips and tricks. Today I will show you how to make $40 in 10 minutes. That's $240 per an hour. And unlike many of the other videos you see, this does include the load times and travel times in this farming. Now, this is not an exploit or a glitch. It's just playing the game how it was designed to be played. To make this large amount of money, you're going to need to go hunting. Now, you may be thinking, what the fuck? I don't make that much hunting. Well, I'm here to show you how. So you know that I'm not just bullshitting you. I'm going to start here at the vendor with an empty bag and $331 in my wallet, as you can see. Now, there are many great places to go hunting, but I like the ones here around roads. For this loop, we're going to head out to Mattock Pond, then down through the woods and back to the vendor. So let's get going on this amazing hunt. As you're riding out to Mattock Field, be sure to keep your eye out for game along the way. You'll oftentimes see pheasants, other small games, and sometimes deer or buck. Now, if you don't happen to have the proper weapons to hunt a good deer or buck yet, because you're still too low level, don't worry about that. You can easily use a lasso, as you see I'm doing here. Lassos are great ways to take out your prey because they will keep the pelt in its current value. Alright, come here, buck. Yep, I got me a buck. Alright, as you're pulling them in, you're going to want to keep an eye there on your stamina. As you can see, it is slowly draining. If it does drain all the way out, the buck will escape. If you want to know more about lasso hunting, you should check out my video entitled Lasso Hunting 101. It can give you a lot of useful tips to getting these great pelts. Now, if you didn't notice as we were approaching, this is a 1-star, unfortunately, poor quality buck. But that's okay. We're going to skin it. We're going to keep the parts either way. The pelt still will sell for a few dollars. The corpse will sell for quite a bit if we don't happen to find anything better. But we're going to keep looking for now because we got plenty of space on our horse still. Now, as I say this, do keep in mind when you're out hunting, just shoot any animal you see moving. Don't worry about it. If it's a poor quality pelt, don't just stop and say, oh, it's a poor quality pelt, it's not worth enough, I'll keep looking. No, just grab it. You can grab another one later too. They all stack up, they all add up. No point in just riding by a few dollars. Okay, as we're coming up here on the pond, we're going to want to be keeping our eye out. You can often, if you keep a close enough eye, see a large flock of ducks around. We went to the wrong pond there. It's right over the hill, unfortunately. I was a little off. That's okay. There's 2 ponds, but this pond over here tends to have a lot more ducks than the other pond. As we look down, oh, it looks like we're getting lucky. It looks like there's a few ducks just chilling around the pond. Now, ducks don't pay a whole lot each, but you will get flight feathers, you'll get animal fat, you'll get duck feathers, and all of that adds up, especially when they flock in such a large grouping. Now, obviously the varmint rifle is preferred here. Just like when you're getting all the small game, you're going to want to have a varmint rifle. And it will pay for itself, so I highly recommend buying it quickly if you plan on doing much hunting at all. But on that same note, if you don't have a varmint rifle yet, that's okay. Luckily the ducks, usually the body itself isn't even worth the good money, so you can just leave it. It doesn't matter if you destroy it. It's all the innards that you're taking out of the duck that's actually going to add up to help give you your cash. But don't worry, you're going to want to stay tuned because no, I am not talking about birds and ducks to make the money. This is just a few chump dollars on the side after I make the real money on my way back. Now that we've finished up the pond, we're not going to want to head straight back. We're going to want to enter these woods that are right next to the pond. Now keep your eye out for small game. There's oftentimes rabbits, squirrels, all sorts of small game all over the forest floor here. And when you're looking for your game, you can notice, you'll look at the trails, or you can aim at the animal itself, and you can see 3 little tiny dots in the bottom left corner next to the animal's name. This actually represents the animal's quality pelts, if you didn't already know that. That way, when you're looking for what animal to choose, you'll look at it, decide, oh, that's a good pelt, that's a poor pelt, I'm not going to go for it. As you saw, I just saw those two deers. Neither of them looked that great, but this one, I looked at it, I saw this is a perfect pelt, so I'm going to grab it. Now I'm going to use my lasso, not a gun. It was running. I don't have to worry about it getting away that way. I can chase it down with my horse. And when I kill it and skin it, I, of course, will get a perfect pelt and perfect corpse. So, as you can see, I have gotten a deer, and I do have a tough choice now. I got a perfect deer and a poor buck. What a decision. Well, luckily for you, I am the kind of person who will go around riding my horse, and I will take the poor buck back. I will take the poor deer back. I will sometimes throw a perfect buck off my horse just to take that poor buck back, just so that I know exactly what it sells for, so I can relay that information to you so you'll know better which corpse or which pelts to keep. Now, you will have to subscribe and check back later to get that list of what bodies, what pelts you should keep, because I had almost finished compiling the entire list of prices when Rockstar did their economic update, which is okay. I like the changes, and I am currently in the process of redoing the whole list. So as soon as that is complete, if there are no more changes made, it will be updated. Of course, if there are changes made, it will take a little bit longer, so bear with me. But as the economy stabilizes, I will have that up for you. Now, we're going to continue riding along here. We're going to keep riding through these woods here, going back to Mattock Pond. Of course, as we're riding, we'll use eagle vision any chance we get just to look around. It helps you spot small critters. Squirrels are great. You can shove them in your bag for a few extra dollars. If you see a rabbit, that's great for meat. If you see another hunter like we just did, well, hopefully they're peaceful like they were, because they're just trying to make a buck as well. Well, as we come back here to Mattock Pond, we'll be looking around for some more ducks, but we don't seem to see any more ducks. And that's okay. You can also skip riding back to Mattock Pond to look for ducks. They're not worth that much. The animal fat is great if you're high enough level to be crafting the weaponry that requires that animal fat. Also though, there are rabbits and other small game here in the woods that you can hunt to fill up your side bags as well if you like. I like Mattock Pond because it also encourages these woods to respawn with more deer, so that it is a quick ride there, back, and I constantly have more deer to kill until I feel my load is full and I'm ready to head back. I'm probably going to catch one more big game and then head back, because, well, that's probably about all I can handle. I'll have 4 pelts on the back, 1 big game and 2 small game, and that is about a good load. And look at that, we actually got lucky. We got a perfect buck. Now these bad boys are worth a fortune. Their carcass alone is $10. Their pelt's worth additional money. Their antlers are worth additional money. Their meat's worth additional money. So we want as much of this back as possible, but mostly we want that carcass. That is an entire missions pay in 1 carcass. So we want to get this back, and as you see, there are some people currently in roads. But I also have this perfect deer carcass on the back of my horse, which is another $7. I don't necessarily want to trade out the deer for the buck. That would be a $3 difference, but I would prefer to take them both. So I'm going to show you a nice little trick here of how to get both your corpses back. So you can actually use your lasso to drag a corpse as long as you have not skinned it. You just kill it and then you can drag it along the ground back to your destination. Now keep in mind, it can get snagged on something, so you're going to have to keep an eye on that icon, make sure it's still behind you, watch your lines, try and ride pretty straight through clear paths, but you can ride as fast as you want. You don't have to worry about the ground damaging the pelt. It will still remain perfect for you when you get back. Of course, as you're coming back, you're going to want to keep a close eye out for other players. They can easily see that buck that you're dragging and know that it's worth high value, kill you, and take your buck. When you get here, you're going to want to do this next transaction as quickly as possible to avoid that chance from happening. So we're just going to skin the buck, and while it's being skinned, we'll take a look at our map to see if there's any other players riding up or riding around that we should get our guns ready to protect this buck over. but luckily there aren't, so we'll take the buck. We're going to first throw the skin on the back of our horse before dealing with the merchant at all. Unfortunately, my aim is horrible with some things, and I dropped the skin on the ground. But that's okay, it's still perfect, even though it just got a little dirt on it. So we'll stick it on the back of the horse. And then we're going to go back and grab that buck and throw it over our shoulder and then go talk to the butcher. If your horse happens to be too far away, that's okay. Just whistle. Your horse will come close enough to be in range, and you can sell directly from your horse as well as what's in your arms. Now, as you see, we currently have $331, and we are going to sell everything in our bag, so it is empty just like it was when we started. We made that loop. It is just under 10 minutes from the time that we left this stall and returned. And now, as I sell it, you will see those dollars just going right up, and we will be ending at $373, which is actually just over $40, and that was made in under 10 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. This is Sir I Shat on You. And if you have enjoyed my tips and tricks, please hit subscribe and check back. I will be uploading new tips and tricks and other fun gameplay videos regularly. And now, just for a little extra insurance for you, here is an earlier hunting trip I did at the same loop in Rhodes. This one I made $28 in just under 6 minutes. Yes, as you can see, you can come here back and forth. It's very, very easy. And of course, while you're here doing the hunting, don't forget to use my trick. Grab that last corpse that you've killed and drag it back to the vendor for that extra corpse price, since with the new economic update, corpses sell for much, much more.